I think I've just got to the point where maybe handbags are so expensive and a part of me has like given up on playing the game anymore, guys. I'm like, the game's over for me. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I hope you're doing well. I didn't upload a video yesterday because I ran out of ideas, but I admittedly was browsing glass vases for like 3 hours on eBay, so that is probably why I got really stunted creatively, so I'm really sorry about that. You know, I was doing low buy 2024, guys, where I was not buying as many handbags as I was last year. You know, last year I was buying a bag every few months, even sometimes once a month, and it was getting a little bit out of hand. This year I really wanted to spend less, but in doing so I found this has opened me up to looking at other things. And recently I went to the thrift store and I looked at a glass vase that I kind of fell in love with. It's this like handbag vase, and I took a photo of it, and then I did some research on it on Google, and it ended up being this vase that I think it might have been vintage and not just some old thing you can get off Temu or from Kmart. It wasn't that expensive, but it was kind of cool. So I picked it up and put it in the kitchen, and I thought, wow, that looks really pretty. Then I went to David Jones the other day and I noticed that they had this range of Costa Booda vases and bowls, and I remember my mum used to collect these in like the 90s and early 2000s, so it really triggered a memory for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember my mum had these like weird swirly ones, and they had these gorgeous vases that were like rainbow-esque, and each vase was like $800 to $1,500, so they weren't cheap either. And I just found myself kind of in awe of these vases and feeling like so excited. And then I thought, maybe I can find these vases at the thrift store, maybe I can go on eBay. And then that led me to looking on eBay and looking at Costa Booda from different artists, because you know they always collaborate with different artists. And then I looked at different artist series, and I just went down this whole rabbit hole of vases, and I found myself getting swept up into the fantasy of having this big collection of glassware and maybe having a beautiful display cabinet with lights just like in David Jones. Really got caught up in this fantasy, and I realized I was playing a little game with myself, the same game that I would play with myself back at the start of my handbag collecting journeys. When I started collecting handbags, I did buy bags from the thrift store. I did go on eBay and find great deals from Japan, Louis Vuitton, all that. But with handbags, it was a slippery slope, because at the beginning, I thought, I'm never going to pay $5,000 for a Chanel bag, whatever. I'm just going to go on eBay and find a good deal, find something for under $1,000, which I did. And same with the glassware, guys. I don't want to spend over $1,000 on a vase, but I'm going down this rabbit hole, which if I become obsessed with collecting them, well, that is the next step, isn't it? I want to go higher and higher into collecting maybe rare art pieces and all that as well. Like, that's a whole nother can of worms. And I'm sure that there are YouTube channels as well that delve into like different artists that make different glassware and all that, but it's a very specific niche that I found myself starting to get caught up in. I just wanted to tell myself to just be aware to take it slow with any little new hobby that you pick up, any new obsession. It's good to just take it slow, because it can become really addictive as well to continuously strive to collect these things, and it can also lead to having too much stuff. So with the low buy 2024, my intention was to buy things more slowly, in particular handbags. Like this year I wanted to save up to buy one Birkin 25, because that's something that I've wanted in my life probably for the last 7 years or so. So I wanted to intentionally save up for that and buy it. But in doing so, I feel like I've still have this feeling where I want to buy things that are maybe not as expensive, and it's kind of causing me to become or latch onto a different obsession, and I don't necessarily think that is entirely healthy either. I don't think it's bad to treat yourself to nice things, and I think it's quite nice that I have this feeling towards shopping that gives me this great sense of joy. I actually don't want to lose that feeling that I get from shopping, like that feeling of excitement and happiness and like the feeling of dreaming. But I think I need to not get too caught up in it too fast. If I'm going to delve into collecting vases, It might be just something I can treat myself to every now and then. Maybe I can wait to be gifted something. Maybe my mum will give me something. And you know, because I started talking about vases a lot, I actually spoke to my mum and she showed me her vases collection, and they're things that she's collected over many years. My dad bought her some. She bought some, you know, when she went to Sydney or she went overseas, went to New Zealand, and some are from like more local artists. Some are mass produced. Some are, you know, a little bit like signed by someone. They just have these like little stories to them. And they're not things that I think you should consume at a fast rate as well, like handbags. But I have this tendency to go all or nothing. And in the past with handbags, I definitely did that. I collected a whole lot at once, and it just was too much for me to enjoy at once. So yeah, with the glassware, I think I'm also going to collect it slowly, but that's a new little thing that's been playing on my mind and consuming my brain cells lately. With that, I'm aware that also we're collecting anything, that it's kind of something that you have to acknowledge that you'll probably never feel like it's over, because the nature of collecting things is that, you know, there's always something new to collect or always something undiscovered or something rarer to go for. And with handbags, it can also feel a little bit like that. So it's up to you as to whether you want to slow down or take a break from luxury or not. So anyway, the topic of my video today was going to be luxury is a game you will never win. And I say that because, you know, buying bags can also feel like a journey. When you start out with buying bags, you might make a mood board, a dream board. So many people make dream boards to manifest their future. I made a dream board and I put up a lot of Chanel bags, Louis Vuitton bags. Even I put a Birkin up there. And, you know, to be honest, guys, I got a lot of those bags. But that's because I set up goals to get those things. And with these like luxury wish lists we make, and when we're dreaming, yes, it doesn't have to be necessarily anything you act upon, but you are setting that intention to buy those things or have those things come into your life. So it is like a goal, or it's like a game we play, or a target that we try and achieve to make us feel like we've done something with our life or something. And with handbags, I'm not necessarily saying it's bad to strive to buy a handbag. Some people go on a journey to buy a Birkin in the store, and then when they finally get that Birkin, they feel amazed and they feel like, oh my gosh, this is the best day ever, and they feel so happy. I don't really think there's anything bad about someone feeling happy about a handbag. It might be even the same level of joy that someone feels when they climb up Mount Everest and they feel like, wow, I've climbed to the top of the mountain. Can't believe it. This is so amazing. Joy is joy, and whatever you can find joy in that will give you joy, I think it's okay in moderation, I suppose. Maybe if you get into like drugs and alcohol and all that, that's probably more self-destructive. And to be honest, also shopping can be self-destructive if you take it too far. I mean, financially, obviously, it can be quite bad for your future. So yeah, it's all about a balance, but I don't think that we should necessarily not strive to buy a handbag if that it's going to give you a lot of happiness. But with that, you have to realize that it's addictive as well. So once you get that dream handbag, you'll most likely want to crave another handbag again. Or you have to consciously tell yourself, like, this is it and this is all I want. And maybe I want to slow down now and not get caught up in it. With luxury, I suppose we sometimes also enjoy being manipulated. Like, I guess with our busy lives, or feeling like we're not focused in life, or feeling like maybe, you know, I don't feel the prettiest today, or whatever it is, we walk into these designer stores and we just wander around, and we like being told sometimes what to buy and what not to buy, and we like people showing us stuff. You might even find it, I kind of get a kick out of being talked down to in a luxury store, for all I know. I mean, a lot of these luxury stores can sometimes be quite intimidating. You can feel like, oh my gosh, this is like too special, or you might even feel a little bit pissed off after going to a luxury store because it just seems a bit snooty, but you still keep going back to that luxury store. So there's something about that game aspect that you like going back, because you feel like it's something that's like you need to unlock, or once you know, earn more money and you can live that luxury life, you'll feel like, you know, you're winning in life. But it's just a game. It's just another thing that you do to pass time, really. And, you know, luxury is kind of all full of games. There are so many things about luxury that convince us that it will make us feel better or that it will bring us so much joy. But once you get to the top and once you've bought all the bags, you might just not feel that different at all. But it's more the journey or the dreaming of getting to that point that we get wrapped up in. And sometimes it's good to just take a step back and just take a few breaths and maybe do something creative or do something to not get too wrapped up in it, because it can kind of take over. That's why I couldn't make a video yesterday, because I was really distracted by the vases and I wasn't browsing handbags as I usually would, and it was making me less focused on handbags. But that being said, I still want to talk about handbags on my channel, and I will keep researching and talking about handbags as usual. But I'm finding myself kind of not care as much about handbags since I've kind of let go of the thought of always kind of buying something. Once you kind of let go of something, it kind of, yeah, I don't know, you just get less interested in it. It's kind of like when I stopped collecting stationery. Like, I used to buy a lot of Lisa Frank stationery, and it got to a point where I just became less interested in it and I started collecting handbags. So I think I've just got to the point where maybe handbags are so expensive, and a part of me has like given up on playing the game anymore, guys. I'm like, the game's over for me. I'm just, how many more times do I have to keep trying playing the game to win a bag, you know, searching for it, unlocking it? And I might just find the same joy out of buying a glass vase at this point. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to blab on about that today. How are you feeling about buying less this year, or have you felt yourself buy less handbags but then get into another hobby? Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye!